Hello. Someone told me that I should sing on my intro, so don't get me started, y'all. I'm so excited to be here with each and every one of you, and we are about to get the party started with the one and only Mariam Nusrat. Y'all, a Forbes Next 1,000 entrepreneur, a Clinton Global honoree, a TEDx speaker, and winner of the Entrepreneur Elevator Pitch Show. Come on, commas. Mariam Nusrat is a US based Pakistani entrepreneur with 11 years in the purposeful video game sector and 15 years of experience in the ed tech space, working at the World Bank across 22 different countries. Miriam is the founder of Grid, a gaming studio that creates low cost mobile games for positive behavior change among the bottom billion. The team has created games for a wide range of development projects focusing on education, reproductive health, climate action, and social cohesion. She also built Brushna.io, a tech platform that empowers users to create, share, and monetize their own purposeful video games with no code and a lightning speed. Think Canva for games. The platform has 180,000 registered game makers, 160,000 games published, and 2 million game clicks. Mariam has raised $2.8 million in seed funding from investors, including Paris Hilton, Randy Zuckerberg, Randy Zuckerberg. Mariam is on a mission to empower the next 100 million people to tell their stories through video games. And y'all, this is not a game, okay? Welcome to the stage, Miss Mariam Nusrat.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me here, Floyd. That introduction was epic. I love the energy. Let's keep it going. Hi, everyone. I am Mariam, like Floyd said, and I am so excited today to talk to you about my experience with technology. And I feel like coming from the World Bank world, the international development world, the not for profit world, into the venture capital tech startup world has been really, really exciting. So I'm very, very pumped to share these experiences with you in the context of AI and technology and how that looks for us. So, very quickly, obviously, this idea of going from fear to scale, what that means for us. So, we will start with fear. I feel like very much so in sometimes in the not for profit world, but also especially within fundraising, the context of fundraising, technology, and how AI is seen as something that's fearful, something that's dangerous, something that's going to take our jobs. And I just want to tell you that unlike Lord Voldemort, this we can say the name, we can say AI, and we do not have to be fearful. And I want to take you on this journey sharing my own personal experiences of going from fear to curiosity to scale. And now I learned that AI was he who must not be named, but now I've embraced it and it's turned into a superpower. So, super excited to talk about that. Before I dive in, just for some context, I know Floyd shared it a little bit, but I just wanted to kind of talk to you about my own journey. So, I started my career in international development at the World Bank, where I was an education specialist working across 22 different countries in Sub Saharan Africa, South Asia, and Middle East. And my work was mostly education policy, but then also largely ed tech. So, really looking at how can we leverage technology to allow people to learn better, to be able to educate, engage, and empower. And I feel like often in international development, when we're looking at technology, especially within education, I felt like we saw teachers as um, passive players. So it's like very top down. Here's the technology. Here's the platform. Start using it, and then boom, boom, boom. This is what you need to do in the classroom. But teachers are extremely creative, and they have been content creators way, way, way before content creation was the hype cool thing to do. So one of the things that have been really committed to and have my journey has brought me to has been this idea of empowering the beneficiaries of international development as content creators. But the pathway was not linear. So I'm at the World Bank, I'm doing education policy, and I was also pursuing my second master's degree at GW. So I'm a consultant at the World Bank, and I'm new in DC, and I'm pursuing my second master's degree. And there was a student project where they said, hey, you know what, can we how would you use technology for good? And what I decided to do was I said, hey, what if we made a period game? So a menstrual health game where you're catching pads with a pair of undies and you're busting menstrual myths. So this was the student project, and I got together with my brother. So I'm originally from Pakistan. I see people over here. Shout out to anyone here joining from Pakistan or working on Pakistan. But I'm originally from Pakistan, and I said, hey, you know what? I got together with my brother and I said, hey, could we code a period game? And that was our first kind of like foray into the gaming world, where we built a period game. And this was a very simple ca- move the undies, catch the pads, and bust the menstrual myths. And that was the day that actually just like opened my eyes to the power of video games. And I said, whoa, like there's just so much that we can do, because it takes away the social stigma of some of the things we talk about. And it really allows you, games allow you to have a fun way to interact, to educate, engage, and empower. So we ended up building a not-for-profit gaming studio. So now I'm working at the World Bank, and then now we have a studio in Pakistan. Am I still connected? Let's see. Can you see me? Floyd, am I back? Okay, perfect. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, thank you, Elizabeth. Yes, awesome. All right, everyone. Right, yeah, yeah, we're back, we're back. Okay, so we're talking periods and gaming. And basically the big idea was we're saying, okay, you know what, we're gonna start building games. So everyone has their day job, and on the side we start a not-for-profit gaming studio. And now we're making games for periods, for reproductive health, for financial literacy, climate action, STEM education, anything that where you need to educate, engage, and empower. And what we did was we really brought the cost of game development down, and we said, hey, you know what, we'll be able to build these games as a gaming studio. And what we learned was that most not for profits, like most international development experts, really do realize the power of gaming. Like I grew up playing SimCity, where I was learning about urban planning without even knowing I was learning about urban planning. So a lot of people do realize the power of gaming, but there's often a cost, time, and skills barriers towards making these games. Now we brought the cost down from hundreds and two hundreds of thousands of $500,000 to tens of thousands of dollars, but this was still a barrier that remained, and especially the time and the transaction cost of becoming a vendor and everything. So we were getting a lot of interest on building games, and then COVID hit, and that demand just skyrocketed for bite-sized video games for social impact. And we said, you know what, we're gonna walk away from from us building the games, and we're actually going to empower our users to build their own video games. So almost like the Canva for games. So whether you're catching undies and menstrual pads, or whether you're catching even numbers or odd numbers, the game mechanics are the same. So almost think of it like the Canva for gaming, but we will just templatize all of these games, and then people can run with it and be able to make their own video games. Wine, I see that, and absolutely, I'm such a huge fan of yours. So thank you for being here. And yes, the World Bank has been working on games. Evoke was a game that they worked on, and now Serious Games and Games for Change is doing so much work in this space. But it still remains the model of here's a gaming studio that's going to build you the video game. And what we wanted to do was empower international development practitioners to build their own games. So I went from World Bank, economist, to a gaming studio, not for profit gaming studio, to a tech founder. So I've really worn all of the hats. And what that did was we literally went from 12 games in 8 years to 165,000 video games in 3 years. So Breshna, the no code AI powered game engine, empowered us to create and almost democratize content creation through video games, where we were saying, hey, first we were like, all right, here we're going to make you a game, and we'll make you a game, and we're the studio, and we'll make you another game. And it was all about one game, and you had to spend, again, tens of thousands of dollars, 4 or 5 months on making one game, and you didn't know if it was going to work. And now we said, hey, you know what, let's remove all cost, time, and skills barriers, and empower, and we can create, but also our users can create their own video games. And that's where we saw this magic happen. And these are games that are bite sized, that are shareable through a simple URL link. So you can do WhatsApp game of the day, we're going to teach math every single day. Or you know what, financial literacy, here is almost like, think about it like Wordle, what New York Times does with Wordle. They have 4 billion people that have played the Wordle game over the past 2 years. And that's kind of the idea of saying, hey, these are bite-sized games, they're fully branded to your branding, to the context. So whether you want to make a game for Kenya with Nairobi city skyline, or in Saudi for Riyadh in Arabic, like the full game is customizable. You create the content, you're in charge, you're in power. So the reason I share this is that we almost put ourselves out of work by virtue of going from gaming studio to a platform. We said, you know what, we're not going to be the ones getting the $100,000 um you know um basically the $100,000 contract. We're just going to be the ones that allow people to make their own video games. So the big idea here is that even in terms of fundraising, we went from contract to contract to venture capital. Let's leverage technology and let's allow venture capital back the platform, back the technology that we were building, which was no code and AI video game creation. So we took this massive leap of going from gaming studio to a tech platform that's backed by venture capital. And we said, hey, you know what, there's very creative ways to be able to scale and to be able to build this. Based on that, because we're a gaming studio, I want to share 5 AI myths around the use of technology within not-for-profit and especially fundraising. And we're going to be player one, the not-for-profits, and we're going to be player two is going to be the fundraising, the AI myths around the myths around AI fundraising. So first of all, game over. I think one of the biggest things that we've learned again and again is, hey, AI will replace us, whether we're grant writers, whether we're whether we're content creators, we're going to get replaced by AI. And again, through my own experience of building a platform that is based on AI, that is based on no coding game creation, I realized that it actually does not replace us, it takes us to the next level. So we're able to level up, we're able to scale very, very fast, and we're able to say, hey, you know what? By leveraging AI technology, so whether it's we're building a chatbot that literally runs our entire grant making process. So we've done that again and again, where we feed all of, and this is simple in ChatGPT, we've fed all of our information into it, and then with different applications we adapt the answers that we're going to get, and that's able to, so now we're able to apply to so many more, whether it's accelerators, whether it's grants, whether it's venture capitals, whether it's studios and investor outreach. We're able to really do that at scale and do that in a meaningful way. And I think that's kind of one other myth that I'm going to talk about is, you do have to leverage AI. It's not replacing you, it's complementing you, but you are the key that makes it special, not AI itself. So the second myth is always behind or leapfrogging ahead. One of the kind of, I think, almost patronizing opinions that we have in the dev sector is that the not-for-profit world lags behind. I have seen this in my World Bank experience, I've seen this in my venture capital experience, that actually the international development and not-for-profit world leapfrogs ahead. When COVID hit, I was actually working within the Middle East writer, and one of the things, Middle East regions, and one of the things that I realized was that war torn countries were the fastest to adapt to remote learning and remote education because they didn't have the brick and mortar infrastructure. So they didn't have to re-engineer that plumbing and that structure. They simply were able to leapfrog into technology. So one of the things that I think is a really unique opportunity within the not-for-profit world is, because we're limited, because we're constrained through resources, we're able to leapfrog and do things much more efficiently, and our hunger for efficiency and innovation is higher. So I really do believe that we can leverage AI in a much, much more meaningful way for both fundraising and programs. The myth number three is kind of tech creates barriers, that almost AI is gonna split us up into those that adopt AI and those that don't. And I actually think that AI allows us to turn every level of complexity into a confidence, into a superpower. So you do not now, I mean, for instance, for us, we were a very large team, and we were able to become very, very capital efficient through the adoption of AI, especially on the fundraising side. I On the venture capital, I'll share this stat. I reached out to 219 investors. Thank you, Princey, for that. To get 29 yeses to raise $2.8 million for our. And the reason I was able to do that was because I was efficient and smart. So I had AI do all of the scoping. I literally uploaded investor profiles and I had it do all of the scoping for me so that I had a targeted list. I then had it kind of like support and allow me to look at which investors were the most mapped onto us so that we could craft the outreach to them. This was all cold outreach. And then I was able to leverage scheduling tools, AI scheduling tools, to be able to get on these phone calls. And then I was able to make sure that my follow up was also automated so that I was able to say, hey, you know what, this is what you asked for. Here's the deck, here's the data room, here is how we're going to build this relationship. So I really do think fundraising is about building relationships, and AI will allow you to do the footwork so that then you can go to that next level and build that human connection with the fundraisers, with the people who are giving you the funding. I've worn both hats, more on the funding side, the grant makers and the grantees. And I do believe, even within venture capital, that at the end of the day, it's really about the people and the connections that you have. I think in a similar stream, another myth that we have is that, you all got to work on the smaller slice of cake. So, especially in not-for-profit world, when I came into this, when I used to think of fundraising, I only thought of grants. That was the only thing that would come to my mind. And I realized that there is such a huge option, spectrum of fundraising, of options that are available if we're just able to look at it from a collaborative mindset. So I reached out to partners within my international development sector, but also beyond, on saying, hey, tech sector, CSR, other organizations, whether it's educators, all of those became my community. Alexa Sohanian says this often: is build your minimum viable community before you build your minimum viable product, because your community is going to become the thing that fuels you. And now more and more people are not funding tech, people are not funding ideas, they're funding community and they're funding content. And I think that AI really allows us to kind of cover the bases on technology and ideas so that we can come in with a human touch and build that community and content. And that is where AI is actually not dehumanizing, but allowing us to build the story, to build the mechanics. More and more, you're the face of it. So get on TikTok, get on LinkedIn. I build in public every single day. And that has allowed me to make so many connections on the fundraising side, but also on the program side, that I leverage because technology is doing the base work. So I have more free time to really go build relationships and build the human connections. um for me, this journey really has been from fear. I always carry the imposter syndrome to date. Getting on this, I'm like, I don't know if I should be the person talking about this. But I'll tell you one thing: I have learned from my experience that you just, I mean, everyone has ideas. Everyone who's had a shower has had an idea. So ideas are plenty, and they're all over the place, but really the execution is what matters, and that is the thing that sets you apart. So literally the only thing that's stopping you from going is not doing it. So I mean, just dive in, go execute, be curious, play around, and that's how you scale, and you're able to go from that fear to curiosities to scale. I truly believe that AI is giving us the spades. The question now is, are we going to go and dig for gold? Because rather than us being the people, so this is again bringing it all back, rather than us making one video game at a time, we said, hey, we're just going to build this blade. We're going to build Breshna.io, which is the Canva for video games. Anyone can go on there and leverage no code and AI technology under the hood. You don't even have to know what AI is. You don't even have to know what no code is in order to leverage that technology. And you're able to make your own purposeful video games, whether they're for financial literacy, reproductive health, climate action, STEM education, whatever it is. But that's kind of the idea of put yourselves in the seat of building the spade, so that then people can go dig the gold, but leverage AI that gives you that spade. So with that, I just wanted to share this story and my experience. Thank you so much for being game. Thank you for being here. I hope this was useful. It was a little bit of everything around my journey from international development to not-for-profit gaming studio to a venture-backed tech startup. And I am now open to take any questions, and talk to the audience.
Mariam, that was so good. You see that little lightning bolt in the background? That's you. I said, because the way that you got me fired up, okay, I'm taking notes out here. I'm like, that is good. And you know what, Mariam? I remember when I saw Grid, I actually went to GW and I was in one of their business plan competitions, and you were in the business plan competition. I think you like won, and I was like, she's crushing it. And I didn't win, but I remember that's where I first saw you.
Oh, that's so sweet. Yeah, that's my alma mater. I was at GW. And yeah, it's like basically, yes, we started there, and now
So
we've built this
powerful.
venture-backed tech platform, and it's
So
called
powerful.
Breshna.io. So Breshna actually means lightning in the Pashto language, which is my mother tongue. So
Come
that's exactly.
on. I felt the lightning back then, and that was many moons ago. So watching you now and all the things that you have done, this is amazing. A couple of things that really popped out to me. You said people aren't funding products and platforms, they're funding community and content. And I said, amen. That's a tweet. Come on, somebody, because I talk about this all the time. I always say community is your catalyst. People first, and then the profits gonna come, right? People first, connection first, and then the currency gonna come, right? And you just said that you articulated that so quickly. How can our people here, how can our nonprofits here, how do they use AI to help propel that community? Because I feel like so many people are so focused on, well, we gotta get this, we gotta get the donor, we gotta get the program, and they're stressed out. But how can we use AI to amplify connection and deepen connection?
100%. And I'm gonna make it real simple. Pick a platform first of all. Pick one social media platform: LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, whichever one it is. I started on Twitter. I have now moved to LinkedIn, and I actually believe the power right now, believe it or not, is on TikTok. So you might think, as a not-for-profit leader, now TikTok's for kids. TikTok is where the action is. The algorithm rewards you significantly for raw content. So whichever one you do, I build on LinkedIn, or you can pick up TikTok, whichever one you do. Pick one social media platform and create a content calendar for yourself. Go on ChatGPT and be like, this is what I want to talk about. This is who I am, and I need a content calendar. But that is where the AI starts you, but then you make it yours, right? So, for instance, I'll give you an example. I just became a mom 5 months ago, and I wanted to do 60 days, boardrooms, babies, and billions. And how do you become a mompreneur, and how do you kind of manage like founder life as well as being a mother? And so I had ChatGPT give me, like, I was like, give me 60 ideas for videos. And every single day, I then kind of like think about them, make them mine, really truly bring my experience into it. So get AI to schedule your stuff, get AI to write the basic outlines, but then please don't paste a LinkedIn post with M dashes and all of the emojis. You're going to lose your audience so fast. If it gives AI, it's actually going to be it's going to have a backlash. The algorithm is going to penalize you, and your community is going to penalize you. So please lean into the power of the human connection. It is your community, but the first thing you want to do is build in public. You may start with 2 likes, and that's okay, but consistency will get you to community.
So, consistency will get you to community. Mariam, I don't know. I usually have a little alliteration, but what you say, babies, bottles, and billions? Come on, somebody. I said, I need that. I absolutely love that. And one thing that I use for social and for content is I've said this before, but I love Claude for my content. But one thing that I do is I start on the platform, but then I make it my voice. I'm like, okay, hey, here's the things that I want to talk about. Here are some bullets that I'm interested in. Here are some themes that I have. what do you think based off of this, right? And then I will work with it to modify and make sure it's all me. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't know where to start, even if you don't know where to start, just start. You know what I'm saying? Just take a step. I love that, Mariam. And y'all, I'm going to drop my link here because I have a resource coming up for y'all that will help you with your social content and help you get it to be consistent. Something that's helped me be a top voice on LinkedIn, help me get more partnerships and stuff like that. So we're going to drop that link so y'all can stay connected. Okay, we have like 1 more minute or like less than 1 more minute. But for people who are not doing venture capital or who are not trying to raise a bunch of dollars or whatever, maybe they're going for institutional funding, or maybe they're just trying to do deeper connection with their donors. How can they utilize similar formats to help them enhance that outreach component you talked about?
Yeah, so I really believe, like, think about it in one way. So, because of AI, people are getting flooded with inbound. So, everyone that you're talking to, 200 more people are reaching out to them as well, right? So, what you got to do is stand out. You can stand out. Like, I mean, I reached out to Reese Witherspoon's team. I was like, okay, I want Hello Sunshine. I want to partner with them, right? How do I do that? So, I literally picked up her latest video, her latest book, and turned that into a video game. I had her character and her artwork, and I said, hey, sorry about the IP, but this is a fan game, creating it for you. Here you go, team. And they responded because it wasn't just a DM. If you're going to be lazy, you cannot be entitled to a response.
You better go. You better tell them, Mariam. Hey.
Thank you. You have to put in the work to stand out, whether that's with a video game, whether that's a TikTok video, whether that's where content becomes king, and that's where AI can give you those ideas. But if you're fundraising and if you're building relationships, give first, and that's when you're going to get and you're going to get in leaps and bounds back.
So in other words, you can't be subpar in your execution and expect stand out in your results. Come on,
I love that.
Listen, we're gonna go bar for bar, okay? Mariam, you're the best. This session was so powerful. Can y'all give it up for Mariam in the chat? Can y'all give it up for Mariam in the chat? Because that was so good. I'm gonna email you, Mariam, because we gotta get together. I got some thoughts for you, okay?
We gotta get together. Thank you so much for being game. Thank you everyone for listening. I really, really appreciate it. And please connect with me on LinkedIn. I would love to stay connected with everyone.
Yes, come on, y'all. She said babies, bottles, and billions. You had me there. Y'all, that one was so powerful. Are y'all getting into this good content? Okay. Y'all, the thing that I love is that this team put this conference together. Okay. It ain't just fly by night. It ain't random. It is good. Okay. All right, y'all. So let's get into what is coming next. Because I'm loving it all. Okay. All right. If you love that session, let us know. Give us that feedback. You already know the deal, okay? Because we want to see it and we want to understand. And that's all for this session. Believe it or not, I ain't got too much else to say, okay? Oh, but Mariam is doing a lounge from Fear to Scale live Q&A with Mariam. So if you want to get more alliteration, perhaps, some straight to the point topics and updates, go to Mariam's lounge from Fear to Scale, and you already know the deal. Go back to the reception hall, get into that lounge, and we'll go from there, okay? Coming up next, hey. Ooh, we're going up, hey. All right, anyhow, let me stop. On this stage, navigating the AI era, empowering users to find trustworthy information. And that's from our friend from Google. Come on, somebody. Innovation stage, agentic AI and the future of fundraising. What's hype, what's real, and what's next? From Ben from Bonterra. And impact stage, technology and the future of philanthropy. Y'all know how to view that schedule, right? Go to the top right corner, scroll on down, bookmark your sessions, and it's going down, okay? Come on, y'all. All right, family, I am so excited. You guys are just the best. Are you not having fun? Because I'm having fun, all right? I'll see you in like 1 minute if you're going to hang out on this stage, but if not, I'll see you soon. Love y'all.